Welcome to Rebecca Sounds Reveille. Today on the show, I am absolutely ecstatic because I have got somebody here with me today who is not only in the move in finances, but he is rocking it because he's doing something that I don't think anybody else is doing. And I think that you're going to go ahead and agree with me. That's right. He founded in 1996 the CKS Summit Group, yes. And this is really exciting. And I love Summit because that means at the top, right? Yes. And so then with this being in the finances, you can just ski right on downhill into your money, right on into the money. That's what I'm talking about. But let's talk about how this can make you do what he likes to do also, and that is enjoy your and his lifestyle beyond just the workplace, right? And so his background allows him to really allow you to shine and make the decisions on your terms, not their terms. A lot of financial companies do that. They really box you in to a lot of different strategies that they think are going to work for you, and in turn really they don't. And so his group is committed to really act in the best personal interest for you. And so we have a lot of things that we talked about a little bit off air, like what kind of age group really is looking at, talking about the finances. And we've got Generation X and baby boomers, and we even were talking about the millennials. And this is so important because it doesn't matter where you're at in life, but finances are always something that we need to talk about. And I will tell you, my guest really is a prestigious person because, well, he's been in the presidential member of Who's Who, $1 Million Roundtable. You're going to find out a little bit more about this. I'm going to tell you, he's been featured, in Oakland Press. He's been in the Detroit News, The Observer. Oh man, these are big time now. And also in Builder Magazine, Consumer Digest, and he's been on WWJ News Radio 950, and a whole lot more. But I really want to bring him on because he's going to share some exciting things that are going to make you rethink finances. And I'm really, really excited about this because there's even more, and I'm not going to give it away. I want him to share it with you. Welcome to the show, Al. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Al Caicedo, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rebecca. It's a pleasure.
I'm thinking about all of these things and how excited I am about On the Move that you are doing right now. And it's more than just finances because you're giving people the pieces of the things that they need. Oh my gosh, Al, I am just overwhelmed, really, because, well, let's first start I'm going to let you share a lot of this stuff, but let's start with how you got into finances.
Well, I got into finances, it was one of those moments where you just say, you know what, I'm going to do something different. At that time I was working, I was a budget officer for Department of Defense as a civilian. And I knew that's not where I wanted to always be. And one day to the next, I said, you know what? I love finances. I love helping people. I like making a difference, short of being a teacher or pastor or something like that, finances. And that's how I got my start. And from one day to the next, I left the corporate world and I went into this crazy world. And it's been an amazing journey.
Well, this is really interesting because let me just ask you, though, going from budgeting to financing, is there a difference?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I was working with money. I was working with the money from the government and things like that on projects and everything like that, and making sure that the money was available, what was going on, and things like in that world. And then you transfer it over here, and now you're working with, in particular with our client base. We're working a lot with the baby boomers and things like that, people that are getting close to retirement or they're in retirement. and they're bringing you their life. They're bringing you everything you are about and that they're about. And they're saying, hey, I don't want to outlive this. I want to maintain my lifestyle. I want to do this. So to be able to guide somebody through that journey is really an amazing honor, really, to be able to do that for someone and say, yes, I'm going to help guide you, and I'm going to make sure that what you want will happen.
You know, that is really beautiful to hear someone say that, because I don't think ever talking to anybody in finance, someone has really said it is an honor to help them in their journey. And wow, I mean, I was already excited when I talked to you before we got on air. And I mean, like I said, I'm really just excited about this whole interview with you and having you a guest here on the show, because there's so much that you have to honor. And this just even solidifies even more the things that you have to share with the viewers. And I mean, going from one serving the country, and yes, that is, to what you're doing now and serving the country in as far as citizens. I mean, this is huge. And this is absolutely huge, because you are taking them down a journey where it's going to change their life. And what I'm wondering too is, when you started doing this, how did you, I mean, when you started seeing some really amazing things happen with people, how did you start feeling? I mean, did you start getting more and more excited and thinking, okay, I've got to go out and like just get a company of my own, getting other people trained to the way I see this and getting them helping other people?
Well, see, what happened was I like most people that get into this business, they start working for some of the big box companies,
Okay.
the big names and everything else like that. And one thing that I always found myself was that I was handcuffed to their ideas, to their thoughts, to what their goals were on how they thought a client should be driven. And it just came to a moment. I just came to a moment in my time in my career that I said, I think there's a different way of doing it. I think that by freeing yourself from the corporate shackles of finances, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just it frees us up to really, really work with the client and have the client's best interest in mind, as opposed to having a corporation on top of me saying, this is who you should work with, this is how you should work with them, this is what you should do. This is your A client, your B client, your C client, your D client. To me, everybody's a client. When they come to me, it doesn't matter if they're here, or way up here. It really doesn't, because at the end of the day is what did you do to make sure that whatever journey that they started, that they could complete. So in making that decision and saying, yes, I'm going to go independent, I think it was one of the most amazing things. And then really as time has gone by, to be able to see the work that we started putting in. I mean, we have clients now that have been with us 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years. And so we've seen them from going to their 50s and into retirement. And these are people at one time thought, man, retirement is going to be this, it's going to be that. But now to see them and for them to sit down in our in that table with us and now be able to see that all that work that was put in has now come to fruition. And now they're entering that life and that lifestyle, and that they're seeing themselves having the ability to maintain the lifestyle that they've hoped for, and they're seeing the bigger possibilities that go beyond there. So that's what fires me up when we see things that are coming together, and every time that we reach that goal with a client, it just really re-cements in my heart what we're doing is correct, and that we are making a difference. And because again, retirement is really, everybody focuses on money, but money is just a vehicle to lifestyle, and retirement is lifestyle. And to be able to do this with our clients, again, it's an honor.
This is pretty neat. So there's no 5 boxes that people are in. There's a lot of different types of lifestyles, and there's a lot of different ways that people can go to really see those dreams come true.
There is. Everybody's different. I mean, if you look at the demographics of our firm, they're pretty much all the same as far as they all did this. They're in a certain income level. They have this amount of asset and everything else like that. But each one is so individual, and to have the ability that you can actually get away from the cookie cutter
I was
model.
just thinking something along those lines.
To be able to just really create your own and mold your own plan and be able to really be able to get in there and have a holistic approach to the client and really meeting their needs, not just by managing their assets, but making sure that everything else is taken care of, because retirement is a journey. Once you get in it, it's life, and it moves and it's living and it's breathing. Well, your financial life is the same way, and it follows suit. So is you have to have that ability to bring that together and make sure that client gets to the level that they need to. So
that's pretty neat. So let me ask you, if someone were just starting out, so they just graduated from high school, they're just starting out in getting their first job, or maybe they're graduating college and they've just really landed their feet in their profession. What is a really good direction for them to start going? I mean, I know for me, I had to save every penny I could for apartment, for food. Top ramen was kind of or cup of noodles was, something to go by initially, I mean, it was just, you were scrimping and saving everything that you could just to get a start for a long, when you're first starting out.
Well, what I always say to anybody who's young is, number one is control of debt. We have so many young people coming out with such an enormous amount of debt just from student loans and things like that. But even with that, you can't forget to start paying yourself. And you're it. You must pay yourself first, and then also meet your other obligations. So, the biggest ally we have in investment is time. And the more time, of course, the more things get to grow, and time is your ally. And of course, as we retire, then time becomes our enemy. But time at an early part of, at time of, when you're young, time is your ally, and in investment, time is a huge factor. So the younger you can start on it, the younger, if you landed your first job. First thing, of course, your 401ks. You have to look at alternatives from 401ks, your IRAs, things like that pay yourself. And then, of course, make sure you control your debt and make sure that you're paying off that debt that you came with, if you have any. But my first thing is always pay yourself. Pay yourself first, then move on.
Well, I really like that. I mean, those are two really good key points in really getting a grasp on finances, is paying yourself and then debt accumulation. And if you are accumulating too much debt, it's really difficult to move ahead, because it's hard to buy a house. It's hard to do certain things when your debt ratio is not in where it should be, and so on and so forth. But I think that oftentimes we fall short because there's so many things going on around us that we want certain things a little bit quicker. And we live in this fast-paced society of drive-up ATMs, drive-throughs, and even cell phones. If you think about how quick certain cell companies come out, it's almost every October or November, there's a brand new cell phone coming out. So you spend $1,000 on this one new cell phone, and then it's upgraded, the next year or so. And so we've kind of got this disposable society, and yet we're racking up income as we're trying to stay on top of all these bells and whistles of things that are going on. But that really does create a lot of debt for us. And is there certain things that we can do to try and kind of keep a lid on those kinds of things? I don't know. I mean,
it's really discipline. And again, it's really learning discipline at an early age, and especially when you first get into that workforce and you get in your first, sizable check and things like that, is, again, if you keep the order of yourself, your obligations, and then your play money, as opposed to play, debt, and yourself, I think that at least starts giving you a roadmap, you might say, to helping you with discipline, because it really comes down to discipline.
I really like that, because even discipline in paying yourself instead of doing other things with that money is that, I mean, that comes back to the first thing that you're mentioning. So
Right.
I love it. I mean, this comes back to self-discipline. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And gosh, I mean, that goes on to say a little bit about what I was not doing way back when, but what a really interesting perspective. And I wish that things had been shared with me a long time ago. But you are in the know and on the move with this, and you are doing things with your business to help people be able to do this and allow them to come to you with coaching through different things that you're doing right now. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Well, when as people come in here, our whole goal is to drive income for our individuals. It used to be health concerns were the number one, fear for people that were going to retire. Well, the number one goal today is, the number one fear today is running out of money. And so our whole goal is to make sure that does not happen to our client. So as people come in here, we're really we live the income mantra about maintaining the integrity of a portfolio, making sure that that portfolio is able to drive the income to supplement lifestyle. So this is something that we keep in the forefront of everything that we do, is to be able to maintain that integrity, to be able to maintain the amount of asset that our clients need, and to make sure that at least that's one worry they don't have, is that they're going to run out of money.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit too about your digital footprints.
Well, one of the things we're doing is that this is our first year, actually started last year. We decided that it was time for us to really get into the digital world and start putting a digital footprint out there for us. And, we have a message. And of course, today, one of the best ways to get the message out there is through digital. And our whole goal there is to put relevant information in a short amount of time. We started a show called Money Clips. And this show is all about pertinent information, and we do it in like 2-minute segments, 2 to 3 minute segments of things that are happening or things that we need to be looking at. We're really excited that, and I think within the next month, we're going to be starting our series on women in retirement, and that's all going to be on digital footprint. And I think that's going to be something that it's exciting. All the data that we're collecting on that, and we have a lot of female clients, and it's been amazing to listen to their stories, and they're going to be part of this series also. So we're going to have people that are going through different stages of their life, that are females, and how they're handling it, and what was done to help them, and everything like that I think is going to be just a wonderful way to connect with people out there, because it's always great it's always good. I feel that it's good when somebody sees somebody says, oh my gosh, I can relate to that. And I was in that situation, or I am in that situation. And so what we're trying to do with that is that. And so, digital formats are helping us put that message out there, because it's not about product. It's not about anything else. It's about life. And if we concentrate on life, everything else kind of takes care of itself. So the more we educate, knowledge is power. So it's all about education. Educate. The better the educated the person is, the easier for them to make decisions, the easier it is for them to work with someone, and the easier it is, because of clear mind, clear decisions, and we move forward. So that's our goal with that, to be out there, to put out pertinent information that people can really just take. It's not about becoming our client, it's about educating, whether you're our client or not.
I really love this. One of the things that many of my viewers know about me, and especially if those who know me on a personal level, my big thing about life is education. And the more we know about something, the better we can make an educated decision about the things that we need to do in life. And there's a big difference in not knowing something and knowing something, or being ignorant. And it's just really huge. And when we have our cards on the table and we have the options available, and what a pun there, right? Yeah. So when we have different options on the table, we can make the right choices that are applicable to our mores, to our belief system, to our values, to the things that are our goals, and the things that we have defined as successes for our own personal lives. And if not, we can't really be the happy, healthy people that we truly want to be.
Correct.
Yeah. And so this is, I really have, like I said at the very beginning of the show, I'm just really enthralled with what you've got going. I mean, you have me so tongue-tied before we even got on, before we even started recording, because I really like what you're doing, and the approach to the way you're doing it through education, and you're valuing your client. This is, to me, just everything in the way it should be, because really, if you think about, historically speaking, the monetary system has been attached to the value of a person for a very, very long. I mean, this historically goes back to classes and castes and all kinds. I mean, so this is a very refreshing approach in how you're doing with this and with your business, the company that you have founded. And I am delighted with everything that you're doing. Do you have any other things that you want to share with the audience, and to let our viewers know about you and your business and where you're leading your clients, or anything at all?
Yeah, well, with us, the best way to learn about us is to, of course, visit us on our website. The way we developed our website is to be informational. When somebody goes in there, you're never going to hear about a single product on there, because it's not about a product. What you're going to get is a library of what I consider things that you can actually take with you regardless of who you're working with. Our whole premise is to educate, and I think people, as they travel through our site, will see that it's all about education. And so to us, that's important. So if you want to know about us through there, of course, through Facebook, to watching our show Money Clips. I think I'm super excited about that show. We've worked really hard on it, and I think it's just going to get better, and it's got great information in there for everyone. But at the end of the day, what I always tell my clients is that, or anybody, is that, continue learning. Make sure that whoever you decide to help you on your journey through retirement is really understanding who you are as an individual, that you're not a dollar sign, that you are a human being that has worked X amount of years or is working X amount of years, and that person really relates to who you are and not to who your money is. I think that there's a big disconnect in our world, where it's all about just what is this client worth as far as money is concerned. I think that, it goes back to the old saying, show me that you care, and, that's what it's all about. So make sure that you understand that when you're out there looking for someone, that they really are getting to know who you are. If they're talking more than you are, there's a problem. So find somebody that does that. Find somebody you enjoy being with. Find somebody that understands it. Find somebody that treats you as an individual and has respect for who you are and what you've done.
I absolutely love it. I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. I am just so excited to have you as a guest.
Well, thank you for having me, Rebecca. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, likewise, so much so. And I want to thank all of you for watching and tuning in. There was so much information here today. I definitely encourage you to share this and utilize the information for yourself, to your friends, your family, all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere that you do social media, friends, coworkers, everything. And just remember that this guest today, Al Caicedo is the owner and president of CKS Summit Group. He is in the know. He's going to work with you as an individual and ensure that your needs are met to take you to where you want to go. This is a definite different approach, and he's got a lot of little clips that are going to help you along the way to really getting you there. Welcome to Rebecca Sounds Reveille. Today we have got such a wonderful guest. She is doing some amazing things. In fact, if you're following her on Facebook, you are going to see her almost daily doing something that's going to make you want to engage with the things that she's doing. I kid you not. She grew up in Austin, Texas, and later moved to Dallas, Fort Worth. And she has done something not only just in the regular arena of attending University of North Texas, as well as Colorado Technical University, but she has participated in theater, choir, dance, all of these throughout school, but she's taken that beyond school and put it into practice in the real world. I kid you not, when you follow her, you're going to see that she is on the move. Literally, in fact, before I talk about the things that were in action, let's talk about the modeling part. In fact, she was a live model, a live Barbie for Mattel. Oh yeah, we'll find out a little bit more about that too. But she's worked a lot in the professional modeling arena and the acting arena, and she's done some extra work, some groundwork, she's done stand-in work, and she's in the process of doing some directing and producing. This is pretty exciting, but she's got a lot of things. I don't know how she does it, especially with five kids under the belt. And so this is an incentive for all of us who think that we can do it. Oh yeah, we can. Let me just tell you, the background that she has is amazing, and I could go on, but why make her wait? Let's bring her on the show. Shanna Toft, welcome.
Hi, Rebecca. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you here today, and let me just ask you, when you started getting into theater and choir and doing things in school, I mean, did you already have this innate ability?
I would have to say yes, because I've always kind of naturally been a showman. I would create things to perform when I was a little bit younger. I love being the center of attention, but not really in a bad way. I just like to make people laugh, make them enjoy themselves, and just put a smile on their face, or just be out there putting my best foot forward and just entertaining to the best of my ability at any given time. Like from the time I was a little bitty kid, I always was just putting on a show.
So so did you go back you go really back far into elementary school? Were you doing a lot of plays and things like that too?
Yes, of course, we had the mandatory plays in elementary school, things like Johnny Appleseed and stuff like that, the Christmas things and whatnot for the parents. But once I got into middle school and high school, and that became a possible choice, I, of course, went with theater and choir and dance and all of that entertainment leaning elective, and I loved it. I mean, I've done everything from being the lead character to building the set to I just did a theatrical performance for Christmas. It was an adult version of the Peanuts gang. We did Charlie Frown, a holiday carol, and I played the grown-up Lucy. We did change the character names a little bit, and it was a play for 18 and up because of some content there, but it was so much fun. It was just amazingly fun. I really enjoyed doing that. I also, of course, love the film and television aspect of things as well.
Well, this is pretty neat because, there's people that get into entertainment, but they don't understand all the dynamics that go into what is produced and the final end result. And I think that that's so important in really being able to be well-rounded and have an understanding of all of the things that go into the making of whatever it is that you're doing, specifically in this arena, in movies or commercials, in any type of entertainment. I think that this is really important. And with what you're doing, theater is a whole nother ballgame, and from what I understand. Would that be correct?
Oh, that is absolutely correct. I mean, with theater, your volume and your movements are a whole lot bigger because you have to make sure that people in the back can see and hear you. And, it's a live performance, so there are no do-overs. Where with television and film, everything is sized down for the frame because it's a lot more difficult for the camera to follow every single little movement, and it's going to pick up micro movements and adjustments in volume and things like that. So you do learn to size that down for the screen where you are much larger for theater. And I have the honor and privilege of having an amazing friend, teacher, coach, mentor that I see on a weekly basis. And he has really taught me so much as far as transitioning from theater to film and television.
That's pretty amazing. Let me ask you, so if you were to compare the two, because I did some extra work and I know that when you go on set, you can get there super early in the morning and you're there all day and sometimes even into the late evening. Is it the same way when you are in the theater and you're practicing and rehearsing and doing all the things that you need to do there? Is it kind of the same thing, or is it a little bit different?
With theater, you spend a lot of that wait time going over lines and hanging out with friends and, just going over stuff over and over and over again. Where with television and film, it's a lot of just waiting. Because with every scene change, they have to fix the lighting and test the sound again. And you have to have an awful lot of patience in the television and film industry compared to theater. It's a whole lot different. I mean, it's the same kind of length of time that you spend preparing, but it's a different kind of aspect of preparation.
Do you have a preference?
I would say I really, really do prefer the film and television these days, and it's because you don't need to be so big, and so much emotion is captured by a smaller frame, literally like a smaller frame.
Okay, that makes sense. So projection in theater, I mean, you really have to be a lot more animated and doing a lot of things so that people that are sitting way out can see what you're doing on stage, versus where the camera is picking up. Is that what I'm understanding? The camera can pick up something so close in comparison.
Right. Plus, with television and film, you can try different things and see what the director feels brings the desired emotion to the audience. So and you'll have a lot of different angles and things. You've got your wide angle, and then you've got your two shot, and then you've got the over the shoulder shots and the close-ups. So there's a lot more coverage that comes with film and television, where with theater, you just get the one type of delivery.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. You have been all over Facebook recently with all kinds of things that you have been doing. And I'm just like, yes, tell the audience a little bit about some of the things that you've had going on.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am about to be starting on a feature film. I'm a supporting character in a faith-based film called Blind Confession. And in that one, I can talk a little bit about my character. I am actually a homeless mother who is helped by a drug dealer. but you're going to have to watch the film in order to find out what happens. I have been working on some web series. In one of the web series, it's called Missing. We have an executive producer for that, and that one will actually bring even more awareness to human trafficking. I'm the mother of a girl who has been abducted, and so it's a really intense, dramatic web series, and we started filming on that last month, put that on pause for just a little bit while we pull some more things together, and we will be restarting that series very shortly. I have been working on a sizzle reel. I worked on a sizzle reel a couple of weeks ago as well for T-Force, and that was a pitch film. I have a role in there as the lead trainer of an all-girls school where we are training them up to be spies. So that one is being pitched to some pretty large platforms. Excellent. And if picked up, then we'll likely be turning that into a feature film as well, or a series or something along those lines. We're really excited about that. I've been doing some commercials and lots of different auditions and things. Have some auditions down in Austin coming up. I've got my film that I'm directing starting tomorrow. We're actually going to do it in a couple of different pieces. We're filming the first half of it, all of the day scenes, and then a couple of weeks later we will do the other half, which is night scenes. That is a monster movie. So there is a creature in there, and I get to have a lot of fun just playing with the different emotions that I want to have come alive in that movie.
I love it. Now let me ask you too, how different is it from being in the movie or in a movie versus actually directing?
Well, I would say when you're out there in front of the camera, you are portraying the character to the best of your knowledge of how the character ought to look and act and sound. And when you're behind the camera, it's the director's job to make sure that the correct sound, motion, delivery actually occurs. So when you're behind the camera, you have a much broader perspective, and you can notice the minute detail that needs to be changed or ramped up or turned down. And it's because you're seeing it from the perspective of the audience, it gives you even a greater understanding as an actor of why things need to look and sound the way that they do, so that you are making sure everything is more believable.
Oh, I love the way that you have presented that, because that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people really think about directing and producing as being kind of one and the same. And what do you think about that?
Well, the producer is actually the person in charge of the whole show. You know, the producer brings everybody together. The producer puts people in place who are going to make sure that they get the job done. And really, they're the top level of the whole thing. I mean, you have your actors doing their thing. You have the director making sure that the delivery is perfect, but the producer is the one who really does most of the work, making sure publicity is out there, making sure that the right people have been hired, getting all of the craft services together, telling the production assistant what to do. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into being a director, but there's even more work that goes into being a producer, because that's the final name that is on the production.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And unless you're in entertainment or you follow it or have studied a little bit, there can be some confusion in that. So I'm glad that you've shared that. And your role in this new film that you're doing, your monster film, it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to have a whole lot of work that's going to be on your plate to make sure, because now from what you're sharing with us is that you're going from a single mono-focused character to now looking on the outside to a multifaceted scene where you're going to be, looking at things with a lot of different characters and having to really make sure that all of that comes into play. So like you said, it's believable as a whole entire unit. I mean, that's a lot. This is really exciting.
And it is. It's very exciting for me. And what people don't always know is one scene will take you about an hour to shoot. So
okay.
We're shooting 4 scenes a day because I don't want the actors being too tired at the end of the day. And, we do have a contrast between day scenes and night scenes. And so it makes a lot more sense to do it that way. But, besides doing retakes and things like that, you still have to get the coverage that is required to make a good movie too, with the different camera angles and lenses that you need to use and that sort of thing. So it really does take a long time to even shoot one scene. And that's with actors who are really good. If you have some that need a little more coaching than others, it will definitely take longer than an hour per scene. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Thankfully, with this one, I am directing 2 friends of mine. So I've already seen their work, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm working with one new actress on this one for at least this first half, and then I'll be working with another new actress for the second half. But I know 2 of them are going to be very, very easy to direct, so I'm very happy.
Well, this is exciting. So how long does it typically take to make a movie? I mean, just because we typically see a movie that's, when it comes out, an hour and a half to 2 hours, right? But you're taking much longer to film that by the time you cut out or you do the retakes and things like that. Typically, how long does it, I mean, are we talking months to get that 1 hour and a half or 2 hours that comes to us on screen?
We are talking about 6 months typically, because I mean you've got to make sure that all of the scenes are just right, different camera angles and that sort of thing. But there's also a lot of rewriting that happens on the fly. The director will say, hey, let's try it this way, or let's cut this out, or let's add these lines instead, or that sort of thing. So that does lengthen the production time, but the end result is an amazing movie at the end of it. And it is about 6 months usually for a really good hour and a half long one.
I really love it. And, it's so funny because when I watch something, and when I will be watching your film, and I will do this, I will rewind something because each line to me is significant. I feel like every line in that 1 hour and a half is something that it's leading up, it's pertinent, it's critical to the overall, everything that is emphasized and the plot and just all the way about it. So it's like I don't want to miss anything that makes this movie what it is. And I think I drive people nuts by doing that, but I think it's there for a reason. And would you say that that's the case, or am I off the mark on this?
No, and absolutely. I mean, the writer or writers wrote it that way for a reason. So there is a specific message that the writer wants conveyed for each line of that movie. And sometimes the writer is okay with the actor changing it up or the director changing it up, and other times the writer will fight tooth and nail to keep it the way it was written. And
that's so funny.
It is. It's very, very funny, but there's a very good reason for it, and sometimes the director will go ahead and change it, and other times, just depending on how intense the writer feels about it, the lines may wind up staying the same.
Oh, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Now, as a mom, how do you do all of the amazing things that you do? Are you super organized? How do you do this? Because I think you're an inspiration to not only those who have children, but those who don't, anybody that, I mean, that wants to get out there and do whatever their dream is, because you're doing it and you're making it happen. And I'm impressed with what you're doing. I've got to know, and I want to share with the audience what your secret is.
Well, for one thing, I am a calendar freak, and everything goes into my Google Calendar. So it pops up on my computer, it pops up on my phone. It actually integrates with Waze, which is what I use to get everywhere. So if it doesn't go on the calendar, it doesn't happen. But I'm also a single mom. I've been a single mom for 9.5 years. And even while I was married, though, I was teaching the kids to help get themselves ready and take care of each other, help each other get ready for school and things like that. So we do run a pretty tight ship at the house. We have to be super organized. But I'm also blessed right now. Like, I couldn't have done this probably when the kids were younger, but now I have 4 teenagers and one of them is legally an adult. So it does open up a lot more opportunities for me since I have an 8-year-old. My others are 16, 14, just turned 13, and about to be 11 on April 2nd. So I don't have any little bitty ones out there, but I'm telling you, even if I thought that I could have done this when they were a little bit younger, I would have by far chosen to hire a babysitter, live-in nanny, whatever I needed to do. I wasn't at that point in my life where it was so intense. But I really am glad that I waited till they were a little bit older, because it really did open up many, many more doors for me. But, you know, they're very good, organized kids. They are trustworthy, and they take care of things. They love the fact that I'm out doing this. They are a wonderful support system. And they've even been able to go on some projects with me, which has been absolutely incredible. So their first project that they got to go on with me was a SAG film. And we were actually on that movie, but it was a faith-based film called No Greater Love. It hasn't come out yet, but one of my sons and I are both featured extras in that film. I'm actually one of the prayer ministers. That's what they're called. I'm one of the prayer ministers in one of the church scenes. So that was a pretty neat thing for us to get to do, and for that to be their very first thing to do with me.
Yes.
Another film that they got to do with me, and of course we were all extras in that one, but it's actually still filming right now. It's called Flip Turn. So we got to be on that film for 3 days. Well, they got to be on for 2 days. I got to be on for another day. But, you know, it's awesome when I get to do things with the kids as well. And 2 of them want to go into acting and film and theater. Well, my daughters want to follow in my footsteps. That's what's happening there.
Oh, that is so neat. I absolutely love it. And tell me a little bit, too, about your modeling career.
Well, that actually started with being the live Barbie doll. I've been told my entire life pretty much that I looked like a Barbie doll. And so, you know, I would put on little fashion shows for my mom and her friends. She'd have me try on everything in my closet and, you know, just put on a little show in the living room. And when I was a teenager, I think it was probably 17 or 18, I just got the idea to go ahead and send in a photo and a letter to Mattel. We have a local headquarters in Dallas. And so I looked up their address and I sent them the photo and the letter and just told them, you know, hey, my whole life I've been told that I look like Barbie and I would love to do something for you guys to bring that to life, however that looks. And so I sent that letter to Jack Dial, and he connected me with Liz Johnson, who actually reached out to me and had me meet her to get the Barbie dress and get everything situated, so that I did wind up having to dye my hair because they wanted me blonde. But and I kept it blonde for for several years after doing the whole Barbie thing, but I had a blast. I mean, I was in the Barbie dress. I was signing the autographs for the kids and their parents, and holding newborn babies and taking pictures with teenage boys who pretended to be there with their girlfriends and things like that. It was pretty
fun. Oh my gosh, that is so fun. So let me just have you share with the audience, what is the best way, or the many ways, that they can connect with you? Because I want them to catch you on every way they possibly can.
Well, the absolute best way, it has all my social media links and everything on there, is to go to my actor website. It's www.shannatoft.com. That is SHANNATOFT.com. And I'm out there on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all that good stuff out there. Twitter too. So show me some love out there, you guys. Thank you.
You definitely need to show her some love, because I'm going to tell you what, Shanna's on the move, and she is going to be making some things happen. And you know what? She's an inspiration. And if you were just kind of thinking to yourself, man, I don't know, you need to follow what she's doing, because when you're just seeing what she's doing, it makes you want to get up and go do it too. And oh man, I'll tell you what, if she's directing, she might be looking for you. You might want to be an extra in one of her shows. I'm going to tell you what, you've got to connect with her. And all of the information, if you haven't already started looking her up while you've been watching and listening to today's show, well, you can get it also on the article that is attached to the episode here. Shanna Toft has been with us today. She is on the move. Make sure you check out all of the things that she's got going. And if you get a chance to check out the premiere that she will be unveiling some things in June, you've got to find out more information about that exclusively coming up on within this article as well. Anything else you can tell us about that, or before I drop any details?
You've got to watch Insincere Twins. It's an amazing Romario Facey production, and you're going to absolutely love it. Come on out if you can.
I'm excited. June 1st. June 1st, I believe, is the date, and I will share all the details too. So this is fantastic. Again, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been a lot of fun. I am excited, and you are an absolute inspiration.
Thank you so very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you all for watching and tuning in. Please share this with your friends, family, coworkers, and all over social media. If you want to be connected early on, this is the way to do it. This is one person that is going to make it big, and you can be connected to her